Hello and welcome to News Center. A counteroffensive by Ukrainian forces have helped it reclaim key cities in the northeastern region of Kharkiv, marking a significant turning point in the 200 days of the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukrainian army claims that it has captured over 20 towns and villages in the last 24 hours. Russia, in retaliation, targeted infrastructure facilities in central and eastern Ukraine. There were reports of blackouts in several cities in eastern Ukraine, potentially impacting millions of civilians. Ukrainian President Zelensky denounced the attacks as deliberate and cynical, said that they were acts of terrorism. The Russian leadership has so far remained silent on the defeats it has suffered, with no comment coming in from President Putin or Defense Minister Shoigu. However, a Chechen leader, a key ally of Putin, has criticized the Russian army's leadership after it was reportedly caught off guard in Kharkiv. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry said that Russia has ordered the withdrawal of its troops from all parts of Kharkiv, which lie to the west of the Oskil River. Let me go across to Ruslan Botnik, head of the Ukrainian Institute of Politics. Bohdan Nahailo, chief editor of Kyiv Post, will be with us, and we will also be joined by Kyrylo Lukarenko, Ukrainian journalist, and he will be giving us a situation on the ground. Bohdan, let me ask you, how significant are these developments over the weekend? Here you have the Ukrainian Defense Ministry claiming that they have managed to regain key territory in the Kharkiv region, the town of Izium, 20 villages in 24 hours. How significant a victory is this for the Ukrainian forces?
Well, let me say that this is part of the game changer that we've seen in recent weeks. The launch of the Ukrainian counteroffensive has taken the Russians by complete surprise, because they expected it in the south, because all the emphasis was on Kherson, which is just to the north of Crimea. In fact, the Ukrainians made a kind of sortie, a dummy sortie to the south, but actually went to, if you want, take the pressure off the second largest city in Ukraine, which is Kharkiv. So the emphasis here is on the game changer element. Look, what has changed? The resolve of the Ukrainian people hasn't changed. They've been defiant. 200 days they have withstood this barbaric Russian attack. On the other hand, the very precise, long-range weapons that Ukraine is receiving in considerable volumes from the West has made a significant difference. It means that the Ukrainians have been able to take out targets, ammunition supplies, bridges, strategic strongholds of the Russians from a great distance and not suffer damage themselves. They've managed to attack Crimea. Russians know that Sevastopol is in danger, the bridge linking the mainland and Crimea is in danger, etc. So there is panic. And even though Putin and his spokespersons are not talking about this, though they had a meeting over the weekend where Putin gave instructions to attack infrastructure, hence the attacks on electricity, power lines, etc. In effect, the propagandists on TV are already lamenting the fact that they are losing, that they have no explanation for the fact that the second most powerful, as they declare themselves, military force in the world is 201 days on the retreat. Final words here. It's not over by any means. It's not over by any means. But this is not the end, but this could be the beginning of the end.
This could be the beginning of the end. Strong words there, Bohdan. I'll request you stay on with us. Let me also get in Ruslan at this point. Ruslan Botnik, do you believe it will be too early to call this a turning point in the war?
We don't know, hello friends, but I can say that we see nowadays the big struggle for the military initiative in Ukraine, because more than 200 days Russia tries to advance Ukrainian territory, and Russia choose the place, the date when for the new battles. But nowadays Ukraine pushed Russia to defense position, and nowadays Ukraine will be choosing the date and place and resources for new battles. In this situation, when the battle line is very long, more than 1,500 kilometers. It's very important because no one side has a strange and absolutely fulfilled battlefield. Moreover, this Ukrainian counteroffensive makes a lot of political problem for Russian Federation because there are a big controversies and fight inside Kremlin between the party of total war, like Kadyrov, you said, like Medvedev and others, and between the party who is trying to find the peace or who is trying to find some kind of agreement with the West in this situation. And the last word, there is also a big problem from the reputation, because Russian army, Russian leadership lose a lot of reputation in this situation. The main thing for Russia state building is the symbol of power. And nowadays, near the Kharkiv, this power was broken, and this is a big problem for Russian leadership in general.
Right. So you're saying that the losses in Kharkiv are a setback for Russia's reputation of their leadership as well. Let me see if I can go across to Kyrilo at this point, a Ukrainian journalist who is with us. All right, Kyrilo will join us in some time from now. But Boran, coming back to you, we also believe that Russia has stepped up missile attacks all across Ukraine. How bad has this attack by Russia been over the last 24 to 48 hours?
Let me just mention my friend is Kirilo from Cyril, a well-known journalist for Hromadske. Look, we've been under attack since the very first day of the war, which was the current war, which is February the 24th. We've suffered immense damage to infrastructure, cities. Look at what happened to Mariupol. It was flattened. Look at what's happening to the second largest city, daily attacks on Kharkiv, but Zaporizhzhia, Dnipro, and all that. We're used to it. Look, the point is that terror, this throwing missiles from behind bushes. This is the tactic of a coward. Yes, and they've run out of high-precision missiles. They have some in reserve, but by and large, they're using old from before, many of which are not reaching that, some of which are exploding. Case of Belgorod. So I would say they're in a bad way, because the whole Russian assumption was that this will be over very quickly. Our might is so strong. Putin, I am Tarzan. These Ukrainians will capitulate. The West will not dare to support them because of the implications, nuclear war, etc., etc. It's all gone terribly wrong. Now, I hope Indians are watching. You're the last. Don't be on the side of the loser and then the imperialist in this case. For once, vote in the General Assembly on the side of anti-colonialist powers, countries like Ukraine. We are trying to get rid of Russian hegemony, which they are trying to reimpose on us after 30 years of independence. Imagine if Britain suddenly, God forbid, suddenly some crazy guy came to power and 40 years later was saying, India, Raj, return to the fold. You are, after all, British formed, etc. This is what the Russians are saying to us. Don't you Indians understand this as Democrats? As the world's largest democracy? Come on. It's time after 200, you could have hedged your bets, you did. But after 200 days of war, when Ukraine has stood its ground, when the West has fully thrown its weight behind it, it's time that you also want to be on the right side of history.
Okay,
I see,
that was
Mr.
your message
Kirill
to India. All right. Let me also go back to Ruslan at this point. Ruslan, we're also getting to know that an S-400 system was also destroyed by Ukrainian forces. How well equipped are they positioned for the next few weeks? Do you feel that this is the time for the West to strengthen Ukraine further? And how do you think the intelligence cooperation between the West and the Ukraine, especially US and Ukraine, has helped Ukraine defense forces reach where they have reached so far?
It's a very important question also, because I think support from the Western countries to Ukraine has three main ways, three main flows. The first flow is the financial flow. It's also extremely important because we have a war of attrition. It's long war, and without financial support, we are not possible to win this war. Western partners gives us every month from 40 till 70% of state budget. The second flow is military equipment. It's also land-lease, so-called land-lease. It's also extremely important, and we saw a lot of Western ammunition, tanks, and wagons in this counteroffensive near the Kharkov. The Western wagons, Western tanks, armors help a lot for this counteroffensive. And the third, it's also extremely important, when we are talking about the cooperation between different types of gathering information, what is going on in the Russian-controlled territories, about the military research, and so this information which Ukraine obtained from the United States, especially from the community of Seven Eyes, very common community, is also plays extremely high role in this war. Especially it played a lot with the defense of Kyiv when the Russian troops was around the Kyiv. This information which we obtained from the Western partners helped a lot to Ukrainians to make correct decisions and to defend our capital.
All right. So you're saying cooperation with the West has been key. Let me go back to Bohdan at this point. Bohdan, just to also ask you, what will be important for the Ukrainian forces in the next few days? Do you think it's absolutely critical to secure these territorial gains that have been made, and give us a sense of the amount of territory which has been taken back by Ukrainian forces?
Well, according to British intelligence, the amount of territory that has been regained in the last 2 or 3 days is larger than Greater London, which is a huge amount. Remember, Ukraine is Europe's largest country. It's bigger than France or Germany. So we're talking about large areas. Look, the Ukrainians at this stage, they want to secure Kharkiv. They want to recapture cities, or rather areas in the south, particularly Kherson, because they want to break this land bridge that Putin has tried to create between Russia over Crimea. So look, as I said to you earlier, this is not the end. This is just the beginning of the Ukrainian counteroffensive. It's going to take time. It's going to be very bloody. The Russians will fight back, not because they want to, the average soldier, they're being forced to. They're short of men, they're short of ammunition. US, European weapons, long-range artillery, rockets, high precision, are destroying their munitions, are destroying their strategic centers. They have an uphill battle. The battle for Putin is to present a brave face on this and say, you know, we're doing our best and we will win. But if he is going to be blaming the army for the failures, the army is going to be rumbling. The army is going to say, hey, you made the wrong decisions, not us, and we are not going to be the fall guys. So we're in for a long haul, but I think there could be some other turning points coming up. For example, if there is mass panic among the Russian forces, certainly in the Kharkiv area. Remember, I emphasize the second largest city of Ukraine, traditionally Russian-speaking, but with a rich Ukrainian historical and cultural background. That is an immense failure for the Russians, you know, that they've not managed to take that area. Donbass, well, it's ethnically cleansed. The pro-Ukrainian elements have left a long time ago. It's been stripped of its assets, so it's a kind of a wasteland. So for the Ukrainians, militarily, symbolically, it's important to regain that, but it's not the prime objective. The prime objective is to cut off Crimea, retake Crimea eventually, and to make sure that the Russian system implodes, that the Russians themselves eventually, there's very little sign of it, say enough. You know, this is far too great a price. And look, we are the outcasts in the world, and we failed. We failed. Our weapons have failed. Our diplomacy has failed. Our message, our cultural message has failed. Who are we Russians? A bit like Germany in 1945-46. Time to sort of regroup and reflect.
All right, Bodan Nahalo and Ruslan Botnik, thank you very much for joining us. So you summed it up well, that the prime objective of the Ukrainian forces is to retake Crimea and make sure the Russian system implodes. Thank you very much for joining us here on News Center, giving us your view on the strong counteroffensive by Ukraine over the last 1 week or so. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we catch up with the Andhra Pradesh Commerce Minister to discuss the state's investment blueprint. Don't go anywhere. That interview coming up. Welcome back. Let's now shift our focus to Andhra Pradesh. The Jagan Reddy government has signed memorandums of understanding worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees at the World Economic Forum in Davos. The investment promise comes from big-ticket companies in industrial IT, renewable energy, manufacturing and ports, among other sectors. G. Amarnath, Industries and Commerce Minister for the state of Andhra Pradesh, is with us on the program. Mr. Amarnath, thank you for joining us. Give us a sense of the kind of investments your state has managed to attract in the last few weeks and key sectors where this investment would be coming in the state.
Hi, Parkshit. Good evening to everybody, to all the viewers and viewing the channel and all. So we have signed almost 1.26 lakh crores of investments in Davos in the last World Economic Forum in the month of May. Our Honorable CM, under his delegation, we have met a number of companies in Davos. We have met top industrialists in the world in Davos. And we have focused the sectors which Andhra Pradesh is renowned of, because we are a big coastline, which is the second biggest state in the country. We have a 974-kilometer coastline. We are the number one integrated. We have the number one integrated solar, wind, and pump storage renewable project, which is coming up in Kurnool, of almost 5,200 megawatt power plant, which we have shown a prototype in Davos, and we have attracted almost 1.25 lakh crores in Davos, with Adani coming up with almost 60,000 crore investment, and Aurobindo Realty coming up with almost 7,500 megawatt, which is almost up to 20,000 crores. And Greenco, which is already existing in the state, has also come down to invest, and ArcelorMittals also have come down to invest in Andhra Pradesh. So in the last cabinet, we have taken a decision of investment of around 1.25 lakh crores. We have taken a decision after the MOUs have been signed in Davos. We have taken a decision of implementing it. We have almost selected 29 locations in the state of Andhra Pradesh, which is suitable and viable for power generation, the renewable power generation, which is the solar, wind, and the pump storage projects. And we are coming up with that. And major investments which we are attracting to the state of Andhra Pradesh is based on the port-based investments. And because we have 974-kilometer coastline, we are coming up with three more ports. We are spending around 12,000 crores on the 3 ports. We are coming up with 9 fishing harbors. We have already existing 6 ports existing in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And we are morely focused on the port-led industry, because it's the major resource the state of Andhra Pradesh is having towards the east of the country. So we are on a strategical location as a state in the country. So definitely port-led industry will boost up the economy of the state of Andhra Pradesh under the dynamic leadership of Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy garu.
Right. So you're saying that several companies have committed investments, and you have now started implementing those MOUs. 29 locations have been selected across the state as well. Also, give us a sense of the kind of schemes which are going to be rolled out by the state in order to attract more investments, attract more manufacturing in Andhra Pradesh.
See, we are focused based on the resources, based on the district is having. So we have a 26 district state, which we have formed after the bifurcation of the state We used to have 13 districts, and we have bifurcated 13 districts into 26 districts in the state. So basing the district advantages and the resources that district is having, we are focusing on that sector. So suppose from this north coastal part of the state, we are focused on some products, some agricultural products, some aqua-based products. We are based on the pharma bulk drug activity. We have on the northern parts. On the automotive sector, we have in the apparel sector, we are having a big connectivities. We have in the footwear sector, we have already signed and we have already laid a foundation with Apache, which is a supplier to the Adidas company. We have in the last month, the Honorable CM have laid a foundation for almost 100 million investment, where 10,000 people are being employed. So automotive industry, we have apparel industry, we have bulk drug industry, we have footwear industry coming down. We have agri-based industry, and as you know, in the marine export, we are the leading in the country. So marine sector, agriculture sector, bulk drug sectors. In the recent times, you have seen in the last 1 week, Andhra Pradesh has been selected for the bulk drug park, which we have competed with almost 17 states in the country, and towards the southern part of the country, Andhra Pradesh is the only state to get the bulk drug park, which we showcase how the state is going forward.
Mr. Amarnath, I'd also like to ask you about the One District, One Product scheme. How is Andhra Pradesh benefiting from this? And do you think this is going to help in boosting local manufacturing, exports from some of the remotest places in Andhra Pradesh?
Yeah. As I said, from the northern parts of the state, starting from Srikakulam, we call it a district. We have this granite, we have this cashew products, we have from when we come towards the southern parts of the district, we have the bulk drug products, we have the pharmaceutical industry, we have the handicrafts, we are focusing on the handicrafts, we are focusing on agriculture-based products, we have GI-based products, which we have almost in major parts of the state. The Arku coffee you must have heard of. We have this handicraft, we have these Kalankari saris, which towards the southern part of the state, where in Tirupati, which is a temple destination, as you know, towards Tirupati, we have this Kalankari saris. So every district has we have a particular product to focus. So that we can give additional value addition to the product, we can send it to, we can focus on more on exporting the products, we can give value addition to the supply chain. So all these products where we have been selected in each district. So we are focusing on the specific district, on the specific product, so that that product can be taken from, as you said, from the remote areas of the districts, from the remote areas of the states. We are picking up those products. We have Kondapalli Bommalu, we have this what you call Etikopaka these handmade toys we have from Etikopaka. So all these products we are taking. We are focusing on Amazon, Flipkart, so that these products can be marketed towards all the parts of the country, and as well as the other parts of the world as well. So that we have taken all these as gifts to the meetings in Davos. Also, we have taken these products so that we can promote these products in the international platforms also, so that all these people, all these products from each district can be given more focusing on these subjects, so that can be given more value addition.
Okay, we run out of time, but Mr. Amarnath, thank you so much for joining us here on CNBC-TV18, telling us about the investment story of Andhra Pradesh and what you are doing in the run-up to the Global Investor Summit, which is going to be held in the state next year. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of News Center. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.